Christmas is invariably a time when people want to spend time with their close family and enjoy the festive season. For so many people this Christmas, they will be separated from their parents, separated from their children, separated from their loved ones because they're being detained indefinitely by the Home Office. This Christmas, Kwaku Adebole, who was deported earlier on this month, will be spending Christmas in Ghana, a country he left when he was a very small child. He will be separated from his girlfriend, from his godchildren, from his friends and his community here in the UK.
The UK Home Office, it is so obsessed with achieving policy and practice goals that it has completely forgotten that there are human beings involved in this process.
Or another recent case of someone who was boxed for the United Kingdom against Nigeria, now facing deportation to Nigeria.
I literally bled for them in the ring and they just turned their back on me.
This isn't what we stand for as a country. Behind these high-profile cases are thousands and thousands of other similar cases, people that have been brought here since childhood. Britain is all that they know. They've been here for the Queen's Jubilee, the building of the Millennium Dome. They remember the 90s in the UK and the 80s in the UK. These people are as British as you or me. Recently, somebody who has been in the UK since they were 6 months old. This person has recently been through the detention system and then has been deported back to the country he came from. That person is now in a dangerous situation in a country that is incredibly unstable. We're putting people in really dangerous situations and it's happening very much under the radar, but it doesn't mean the issue's not real. It doesn't mean the harm is not happening every single day. And it doesn't mean that it's not affecting people just like you, people that might be friends with your family members, with your children. There are hundreds of British children right now who have parents that are banged up in detention centres that have no idea when their mother or their father will be released. What do you tell your children when you're suddenly flung in prison one day with no proper explanation and no idea of when you might be released? The trauma takes a really long time to heal and sometimes it never does. One issue that has received a lot of attention in 2018 is the terrible treatment of the Windrush generation by this government. People who have had their lives absolutely torn apart. They were banged up in detention centres all over the UK. Many of them were then deported wrongfully and unlawfully. If the Home Office can get it so wrong in so many cases, why should they be trusted to run a system that does so much damage? Our current Prime Minister, Theresa May, has staked a lot on tackling modern day slavery and dealing with human trafficking, and she's called it the scourge of our time, and she said that this is something that she really wants to get to grips with. But she is categorically failing to do that, because her indefinite immigration detention policy and her hostile environment is scooping up people that are survivors of modern day slavery and survivors of trafficking, treating them like criminals and subjecting them to completely inhumane practices.
Relax. Fucking piece of shit. I'm gonna put you to fucking sleep.
And it's nothing short of a national scandal. The centres are worse than prison. The effect of being held indefinitely has a really dehumanising effect on people. We frequently see clients that are having a mental health crisis as a result of their situation. People who aren't vulnerable when they enter detention very quickly become vulnerable.
Please, I don't want to take my own life. I beg you. I'm tired. I don't want to die here. I want freedom. I want my freedom. I got detained 2 years now. I spent my life behind the door. Why?
The traumatic impact of being held for so long and not knowing why and not knowing when they're going to be released, it has a torturous effect. That's why the British Medical Association has called for an end to indefinite detention. And at the same time, British taxpayers are paying out huge sums every day to keep people in detention in this state. So we are demanding a 28-day time limit on immigration detention. The obvious alternative is one that is all about freedom, and it's about supporting individuals who are subject to immigration control in the community. The hostile environment indefinite detention are two of the biggest stains on our democracy right now. But as more and more people become aware of these injustices, as more of a light is shone on them, I feel really sure that government will be forced to rethink and forced to make changes. No injustice is forever. This must be the last Christmas that this happens. And that's why we're calling on government to end this practice in 2019.